I had to stop, but my phone overheated. I didn't have the battery charger on it. So it's still trying to give me that issue. It only does that with this phone though. It don't do that with any other phone. It just times out. Anyways. But yeah, as I was talking, and it shut off right as I was about to talk about the comments. And when I looked over, it was 1, 2, 3. I was like, all right, I need to stop. Let me stop and meditate on that. But yeah, I had to use the bathroom and get some gas, obviously. So yeah, nonetheless, we back, baby. But yeah. So pulled over there and was able to see some of the comments in a lot of these videos that I watched. It's very interesting within those comments as well about the state 83 and very interesting information. So very interesting information. Like I said, it's truly affecting 83 in a way that they ain't never felt before. I was seeing people who had migraines and headaches, you know, especially after the flashing lights. It was like a massive headache that they got. They wind up getting, you know, visuals or memories that weren't theirs, or they were somebody else's, and they wind up contracting them, and it's been disturbing, bothering their sleep. Under their impression is, lo and behold, everything happens for a reason. And I was seeing that people's eyes, people having problems like seeing things, or they were seeing things. People's had heart palpitations. I've seen that. Seen people who had who were very achy. You know, they were in pain, a lot of pain. I'm talking about excruciating pain. I think that was the first comment that I had seen was like, I've been feeling pain all over my body. Does anybody else feel it? And all I saw was me too, me too, me too, me too, me too. You know, I think I saw one brother in there was like, this is judgment. I think he got a thumbs down or something like that. But the amount of me too's that I saw for the people having joint pain and aches. You know, the lady was having pancreatic issues, kidney issues. So a lot of kidney issues, a lot of pancreatic issues, bladder issues. Yeah, people get to talking in these comments and under these videos, and you know, learn a lot. So you know, I'm not partaking in them and trying to have a conversation or anything like that. I just observe and report back what is going on. That's what's been happening to a lot of people during these times. When it comes to all of the spiritual and celestial activity that's been going on. putting a lot of people in tailspins. I've seen a lot of people who lost a lot of money, lost a lot of their assets, sleeping outside. The amount of people that I see who are in tractor trailers, trying to enjoy themselves, but anywhere they go, trying to enjoy themselves is literally like a chain of events that happen, an unfortunate chain of events, fortunately, though, that are happening in a lot of these people's lives that have them having to be humble, really put in place, really the light bulb flickering on. It's kind of like an interesting sign for all of these, the flickering light phenomenon for many, where they're waking up to these situations where, the lights have been in their dreams flickering. Like I said, it's really a lot of people's minds right now, and this is all over the world. There's over 100 in the world, and there's over 3 in America, but plenty of them that, you gotta have like 1,000. Guys, Brazil, Australia, all throughout Europe. Judgment for a lot of people. You're starting to see many of the faces of these people's forefathers, and they're being reminded again and again, but paying attention, weren't listening. And now, warning no more, false alarm. There's no more, safety drills. Real drill now. This is the real thing. None of y'all put in other people's tests, notes, pencils, and paper. And, really got to be put to the test. And attitude really got to do the work. The amount of complaints that I hear about people wanting to go to work or do work or anything like that, feeling like it's beneath them. They're above it. They shouldn't have to. It should be just easy peasy. That's what we're starting to see now. That disgruntledness, disdainment, and bitterness, having to actually get out here and go to work and having to work. You're seeing a lot of 83 women ending up as, OnlyFans and escorts and prostitutes. Realizing that that's their form or source of income, that they can only succumb to or surmise to. So that's what it is. It's just bad for a lot of folks out here. Just the homelessness alone. Driving through complete barren cities, towns. These people ain't looking to come together and gather together right now. They're looking at their own neighbors, calling the cops on their own neighbors, shooting their own neighbors, sleeping with their neighbors' wives and husbands, and messing with the kids, and hitting the kids, and slapping them, and all type of stuff. So the amount of Karens that are coming out. I was just on a situation. What was that? Grand Canyon. So I'm on the bus, and I'm on the bus going to Hermit's Rest, man. And this family was on the bikes. You know, it's a bike trail, but they didn't use the bike trail. And I guess one of the kids' chains came off or something, I don't know. But they were in the middle of the freaking road as we just pulled off. They didn't pull over to the side. She was like, I'm going to do this in the street, and I'm not going to pull over like one of them holy cows. You know, you just got to stop and wait till the cow move itself on over the road. But she didn't want to get out of the road, so we had to sit here and wait for her, you know, while the bus driver was, you know, honking at her and telling her you need to move off to the side of the road. It was her, the husband, and the daughter. I think it was the son. I don't remember. But she gave them very stern directions, like, hey, you're not supposed to be on this side of the road. You know, you got to be on the trail. You know, if something was to happen, you know, you'd be liable. You'll be, you know, even if I was to drive on the other lane, you still had to, you know, the tail of the van and the bus can still cause an accident or hurt or injure anybody like that. So we just try to be mindful of safety and stuff like that. She was very nice and stern about it, though. She wasn't going off on her, like, you know, but the lady wound up like getting into this big old like heated argument with her, you know, Karen, straight Karen, and was trying to like argue with her and prove her point and stuff like that. Like, I own the road and you're supposed to do this and move over, and I don't have to report to you or say anything. But the lady was just like, I'm tired of talking to this lady. Look, get your ass on over there, get on that trail, and be safe, you know. And she wasn't tripping on her safety or nothing like that. She just was ready to be combative, like, already, just because of the circumstances they was dealing with the bike not being operational on the side of the road. So with that happening, you know, as she's driving, as we're driving past her, she's like, oh, she's so racist and stuff like that. I'm like, how is anybody else racist towards white folks? Like, I'm starting to hear this so much now. Like, how would you guys, like, that's reverse psychology for y'all to be trying to do that and make people feel, you know, reverse psychology, really. You know, just trying to make people feel like, oh, well, maybe I need to check my racism, you know? No. You guys have been a racist for as long as everybody has known, you know? Towards anybody, it don't matter. Mexican, Indian, it don't matter. Hawaiian, it don't matter. Black, it don't matter. Mainly us. But everybody else, you know, want to jump into the boat because they want their minority benefits. So it's easy to sit there and cozy up next to us to try to identify with our struggles and our plights as if, you know, your plights was just as heinous. No, it weren't. It weren't. Cut it out. Different nationalities try to identify themselves with the struggles of black people, because now y'all actually got to go through the struggles of black people went through during Jacob's trouble. So the fact that the curse is reversed, you're starting to see that where, you know, a lot of these white folks are starting to say like, oh, it's racism against us and people are treating us bad and all this stuff. Y'all been fucking treating everybody bad for the longest. Y'all been making a living off of the deterioration of other cultures and people. You know, like, y'all been destroying the land, the air, the earth, and the seas. Like, come on, like, with all of this trying to be back and forth bickering about, you know, having pity. No, nobody got no pity for none of that stuff. But anyways, the lady was trying to argue with her as she was driving off. She just closed the door on her, like, shut up, I don't even want to hear this. I gotta get these people to where they need to get to. But I wind up looking across, and the older lady who didn't want to sit next to me was like, oh, she is such a Karen. You know, like, went off about her being a Karen. I'm like, shut up, lady. You know you've been a Karen your whole life. You know, it's like people trying to, like, grandstand and try to be, you know, try to flagship their self-righteousness to try to be like, oh, no, I'm not on that side of the fence. I'm on your side of the fence. You know, I'm agreeing with you. You know, I already know what you're thinking about. Like, no, lady, you don't know nothing I'm thinking about. You got no clue. But it's just, you know how like a kid looks at their parents. It's 60 miles away. How a kid looks at their parents and, you know, the validation that, oh, am I doing this right? Did I do this wrong? You know, That's what that looks. Those looks at me, you know, where I'm seeing those, you know, trying to get the validation from our nation, you know, as it pertains to whatever struggle that they going through. It's like, nah, this ain't how it works, homie. This is not how it works. You know, people finding out the real hard way. You know, I go to these pumps. I'm seeing people putting $5 in the gas tank, you know, on a big boy. You know, it's not like it ain't no little cars. Like, that's how bad it is. Like, people holding on to the last of what they got. And what they got is not enough. It's literally translating. It's translating on the spending. You know, I'm listening, you know, and the kids want snacks and candies and stuff like that. And the parents are like, no, little Timmy, we can't get that for you. We don't have no money. You know how many times I've heard that? Yeah, a lot. So, to be seeing the fact that, like, oh, we don't have the money, you know, we can't do this, we can't do that. You know, that's been the prelude. That's been the prerequisite to all of the saving, you know, opening doors and welcoming, and these are now the complaints have towards us of, oh, well, why can't we join in? Why can't you let us be a part of? Or why didn't you tell me? Let me tell you what? That y'all people been fucking us over for hundreds of years and getting away with it, and now you want us to be all okay about it? Like, oh, it was just nothing. Nah, all of everything was something. No matter if it was one slave or not. No matter if it was one slave or not. Just one drop of that slave blood, that drop. You know, you ain't supposed to. You hurt your fellow man. You hurt the original people of this land. You know, the foundational Black Africans, Black Americans, however you want to call it. You're the chosen children of these lands. Hebrew Israelite or One Nation, One Power, UIUC. You start to see that a lot of the churches starting to try to, not get their act together, but trying to, replicate what we've been doing for the last 5 years now, showing that the teachings that they've been instilling into our communities have been the capitulative curriculum and knowledge and circumstances that our oppressors had to beat us to death to say yes and accept it. Praise and worship white Jesus more than white folks praise and worship white Jesus. How do we gotta understand how we got to that point? That's a very interesting dynamic. We wind up swallowing, turning it into ours and making it ours as if it's ours. And that was very far from the concept. You gotta understand that y'all been serving wrong, what is it, false advertisement, misdirection, lot of disappointment, a lot of egg on the face popping up right now. Like I said, with the churches right now showing themselves. Many of these churches are showing themselves. They don't even read nothing from the Old Testament. Still trying to milk a turnip. I mean, just looking at these lands. I'm in Mississippi right now. You know, before these roads was here, you had a vast amount of trees. You had slaves running through these fields. You know, literal slaves. Runaway slaves, you know, dipping, you know, trying to get away from the torture and trauma that was instilled by people who don't look like us, you know. And you had people who were the familiars, like from the movie Blade. You know, you had familiars, blasphemers that were flagshipping and stuff, saying that like it was all good, it was for our own good type of thing. Like, no, that's not how this works. But you now doing that and making it a thing. Good luck with your cold potatoes. That's all I can say. But the amount of slaves that used to run across this land just to get away. Good old land of Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, Texas, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia. A lot of these places, y'all partake in this. A lot of these different states, Florida, y'all all participated. You're going to start seeing a lot of this stuff happening. You're going to start seeing faces in the clouds. You're going to start hearing whispers in the water. You're going to start seeing the trees and the rocks smiling and looking at you. You're seeing trees. The trees is like kamikaze for infrastructure out here. Rocks is anything on the earth, mudsliding on there, rocks falling on, trees is falling down on the power lines, you know, disrupting, you know, so many people that are in the dark. They got power outages. It's interesting that these power outages are happening and it's taking way longer than people not knowing how they are even, you know, starting. And like when they think that they fix the problem, it's like another problem. It's like it's being just a problem for all of these folks. And so ending up in darkness is interesting. It's almost biblical, you know. What was that? In Egypt, where it was like all dark, shadowy, like the plague was coming. So that's what it's kind of like, really looking like and feeling like. So it's very interesting that you're seeing all the flickering, you're seeing the lights go out, you're seeing people ending up in darkness, like where it's super dark, getting attacked by these animals out here. You know, feral hogs and coyotes is on the rise. You got mountain lions that's on the rise. You got wolves that are on the rise. You got the bears coming out of hibernation on the rise. Like all the animals are reproducing at phenomenal rates, amazing rates. You know, you're seeing animals that were thought to be extinct are not with the farthest thing from being extinct. You know, you can start seeing pods of the populations of different fish, different land animals, different birds. You know, these things are popping up in a lot of these, you know, ghost towns, cities that ain't got nobody. Even the places where there's heavy population, you're seeing the animals prop up on that land, you know, and reclaim that land, claim it as a territory. You're trespassing, and so You're seeing bears ending up under the houses. You're seeing raccoons and, you know, animals like that attacking people. It's not getting easier. It's not getting safer. The amount of people I see walking around with a gun on their hip, just paranoid, you know. So it's just real spooky for a lot of folks out here. Like I said, just the physical aspect. Sun heading this way. Satellites are falling back down to Earth. That's why these two corona mass ejections coming up. Those sunspots have the potential to put out a lot of these satellites. There's thousands of satellites floating around, and they've been just falling. They've been falling down and hitting people, you know. So that's what's been going on. Obviously, the system is collapsing on itself, falling apart. Money system. Back in these regions in the South, where a lot of our people were oppressed under indentured slave servant terms. Just interesting because we contributed so much to this country, to the world. Never got a thank you, never got a handshake, never got nothing, no reparations, no nothing. I just took and said, this is what y'all do. This is what y'all supposed to do. Like, we're, it just backwards. The amount of people who have to actually get out here and pick cotton. Cotton, tobacco, all of that. All of that. You think about companies like the Levi's jeans. Sell for hundreds of dollars. If you ever looked at the logo, the Levi jeans logo, it's the same analogy and perpetuation of the image of the Willie Lynch letters, where they used to tie a black slave, most of the times the most alpha, tie the horses to him and hit him with a whip, and tar him and feather him and beat him until he can't scream no more, and pull them apart in front of the other slaves as a form of eye horror, eye trauma, ear trauma, hearing the sound of somebody being ripped apart by two horses. And you look at the Levi jeans logo, you see the same thing. You see one on the left whipping it, and the other one on the right, hand coming forward, landing. In between that is a pair of jeans getting pulled apart. So, you do your own research. You add that math up, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So, but yeah, that's what has been going on in history, throughout history. The pulling apart of our people. Separating us, keeping us from connecting with each other. We all had culture, we all had language, all had tricks of the trade. They know how to specialize in everything. That's the difference with us now. And, a lot of us are very, very talented. Just natural talent. Just exponential, supernatural talent. Able to do multiple things. Master multiple things. Now you're starting to see the people that didn't do their homework, that wasn't in school, squandering it, and lazy, and all that stuff. That stuff is starting to catch up on people. People who ain't developed no trade skills, no utilities, no safety measures, finding out that, they really ain't proficient and efficient. Excuse me. Really ain't efficient or proficient. Man, I'm starting to feel like I'm sneezing. And nothing. I'm starting to see so many people that are needing help. Need help in all aspects. It's helpless. So, it's very interesting. Very interesting times we live in. Like I said, I can drive across this country, protected, safe, nothing happens, literally locked in, focused, upbeat, energy good. Get back to the get back, and get back out here and liberating the land. Get back out here and liberating the land as supposed to. Doing what we're supposed to be doing. Seeing our ancestors come back to us, come back to the land. They're rejoicing, they're having fun, they're laughing, partying and dancing in the clouds. You look at a lot of the different weather formations. It looks like somebody's walking on the land. It's a figure smiling. So. Stuff going on everywhere. Earthquakes, obviously reporting on all those. Volcanoes, reporting on all those. Floods, rains everywhere, tsunamis. Tectonic plates formulating. Still got stuff going on in Santorini, Greece, France, Spain, Portugal, Africa. Volcanoes erupted over in Kilauea, Hawaii. Got Ethiopia active. Majority of a lot of these volcanoes are active right now. They're in the active spot. Now, are they spewing out yet? No, but a lot of it because of the planetary alignment, because the full moons, new moons, and all these different astrological features, and it's pulling the magma from the core to the surface, and it's sitting there just like bubbling for the right time to be able to activate itself and do what it needs to do. So, with that being said, with many of these places that people didn't think were volcanoes, or they just look like little mountain hills and stuff like that. A lot of these places are like little volcano plugs. A lot of these places are volcano plugs. And just when you think that was just a regular hill, happened to be, a wine cork at the top of a volcano. You see in Alaska, 3 volcanoes out there erupted. There's been a lot of earthquake activity out there. They've been trying to drill in Alaska, they've been trying to drill in Oklahoma, they're trying to drill all throughout Texas. So all these oil fields starting to pull all the resources, but it's all backfiring. It's taking out all of the groundwater from a lot of these. Making the ground real dry and spongy, to where it's just like sifting itself around like some bread covering for chicken. That's what it looked like. Preparing itself. Seeing many of the weather storms going over regions, super soaking them. A lot of people are not ready for the mudslides. People are not ready for the next wave of weather. You know, it's going to be to a point where many people are already just chucking their hands up like, I can't take another storm. I can't take another earthquake. I can't take another fire. I can't take, you know, you got a lot of people who are putting their investments back into these things, you know, and they're, you know, in a rebuilding process right now, building their home back up, just got the foundation, you know, concrete dried and everything, and then bam, the Holy Spirit just kind of breaks them off. So you got people that have been getting hit, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, over and over and over and over again, and starting to realize, like, you know, they worn out, can't do no more. It's depleted everything that they had to shut down the businesses. Most of these people got their businesses tied to their house, or their house tied to their business, having to refinance mortgage loans and stuff like that, taking out equity out of their places. You know, ending up all that work that everybody they put in is now gone. It's depleted. It's depleted. You gotta thank. You really gotta thank the insurance company. How much they were fraudulent and schemed and scammed the whole country, the whole world. People having all this insurance, paying all this insurance on something, it ain't even safe. You know, the amount of, you know, businesses getting robbed. It's funny. Before I was leaving, I don't think I talked about it, but the amount of lock boxes and safes that have been found from the Pacific Palisades fire out in the middle of nowhere, just on the side of the road and stuff like that. People were going out there during the nighttime. With their little metal detectors, going and scanning all of these places, finding things, taking them, going out in the middle of nowhere, ended up with, you know, dozens of little chests and all that stuff, and robbing these places where there were millionaires blind. Taking all of these millionaires, you know, you got pirates out here. You got land pirates. You got pirates. You got land pirates going on right now. That's every location. Every location where there was natural disasters, from Hurricane Milton, Hurricane Elaine, all of these blizzards, and people that are ending up no more inside of their homes. And, you know, emergency crews are, you know, going to these homes and seeing these people passed away, and, you know, getting caught on camera, stealing these people's shit that just died, you know. So you're seeing the moral compass of people we hold up in high reverence as high people of authority and stature and professionalism, committing all of the same crimes that the people that they're locking up. You're seeing all the Dr. Kevorkians and Dr. Giggles popping up now out of nowhere, where, you know, they now, I don't know if it was signed, and I don't know if it's fully active, but, you know, they're working on a bill to allow, you know, medical professionals to be discreet and have exemptions towards people that may go against their views, you know, whether they're religious, political, or anything like that. You know, if I don't, this is whites only pies, and I'm going to serve whites only pies, and that's it. So you got people who are taking into consideration that, you know, where you may be in a dying situation, and they're like, oh, I don't want to serve this person because they got a turban on. Well, I don't want to serve this person because they're black. Well, I don't want to serve this person because they're white. You know, Mexican, anything like that. So you're having this, where, yeah, this is the United States of America, but now it's becoming Divided States of America. It's United Corporations of America, but the overexertion of the resources of all of these different states are starting to now hit the last of the reserves. They're now being compromised. They're now not able to be in a position to help even thy neighbor. So you have some whole states now in a small undercover Cold War with each other, where their people and the rations and things. It's not something that these states want to talk over. When Pacific Palisades fire happened, you had many people trying to race to get to fucking California to try to help out, so they could put that as a dib. Like, bro, I remember when I helped you. It's like you volunteered to come. Like, nobody called you for help. But you're seeing this volunteering their services that weren't even needed or called on, and over obligating people. Like, oh, well, I helped you out, so you owe me. You got to foot this bill because I did this for you. Because I was considerate or nothing like that. But they're doing it in a masking of capitalism. That's why it's like, ain't no hustlers remorse. My mom always used to tell me, ain't no hustlers. Let's say $1 million casket for your dead baby. The amount of inner demons coming out, the amount of grandstanding. I'm struggling too, so I feel just like you feel. I know exactly how you feel because I'm struggling right now. It's like, no, you just now. It's 5 years. You got 400 plus years to go. This ain't gonna stop. I don't argue with none of these folks no more. I'm not gonna be all in know. I'm not gonna be trying to convince brothers and sisters out here. I'm seeing old ass niggas still acting, 62 years old, still acting like they still on the block. Like, really, nigga? That's old. The suppressive states of mind, body, and spirit. I don't know, but I feel like I got something splinter in my damn index finger. I don't know how this made, but I can't wait to get out of the man and stop driving. Like I said, we live in very prophetic times. Comments, the comment section definitely has been a source of juice and ammunition and things like that nature for the nation to be able to, observe. And now that we're seeing a lot of these things come to fruition, I think I had a report or something about frogs falling from the sky. I had to look at it again, but I remember seeing it say frogs in the sky. So I don't know if it fell from the sky or whatever like that, but yeah. But it's interesting. You're starting to see a lot of people with things. Ending up with situations that they had never been stuck in and caught in. So any of these folks try to get, try to get back in. And all this stuff, going outside, but just like a lady that was in the middle of the street with her family, like, how you gonna go off on them when you shouldn't have been where you was at in the first place? And that's how it's always been. Y'all always was at a place where y'all shouldn't have been at. Y'all always was doing something that y'all shouldn't be doing. Y'all always was touching something y'all shouldn't have been touching. And y'all still did it. Because you thought you were superior. Where's all that superiority now? That's what I'm looking at. Where's all of that big talk? All of that big talk is starting to showcase itself that it was bluff and it was Oreo cookie air. So, we ain't got no more time for that. We got no more time explaining nothing that's going on right now. Just know that it is happening. You're seeing it happen. Just know that you are a part of that. So, yeah. Yeah, there's just so much going on. So much going on. Keeping up with it. It's good, information, so it ain't overloaded. You guys are there to just even having simple conversations with people. It's not simple no more. Man, most people can't get out of it. You can know these are, people are so far away from knowing what's exactly going on. It's like people are not prepared. People are not prepared. People still going on about their lives as if nothing's going wrong. People still going about their lives, not caring about any of the information that's in front of them, whether it's directly or indirectly. It's just good to see a good portion of people who are addressing, whether it's that behind the so to be seeing that the sun is highlighting all things that were bumping in the night, that were hiding in the dark, they're becoming more noticeable. You can't avoid the truth. And I think these next 2 little sexy time for a lot of people. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with the camera, but it blinked out. I'm gonna just wait until I stop. That'll be best for me to do. Be able to report. Just wanted to get live real quick, just so I'm alive, baby. I'm popping up. We live and direct. I'm gonna bring you the news from all across the country. Everything going on. So we will talk later. And hope everybody have a good day. So, shalom.